Hi everyone, it's Jenny with Joey and Jenny's Little Yellow House. We're on YouTube and Instagram at Joey143Jenny, and we're on Facebook at Joey and Jenny's Little Yellow House. Well, like promised, I wanted to do some journal covers and just have some ready to go so I could work on fall journals and get to my Christmas journals. So what I'm doing today is starting a series, and I don't know if the series is all going to run one right after another. I think maybe a couple of videos and then I'll come back with a couple more. But so what I'm doing now is I've taken some of the Junk Journal Studio Fall Bounty kit, and I'm using those to make this journal cover here. I practice here with a piece of it. I just copied this on copy paper. This is part of the kit. It's ephemera, and basically what I did was I just Mod Podged it onto some fabric and kind of made it a little bit more like fabric. And so that's what I'm going to do with this one. Now I will probably, once I'm done with this, then put it on, let's say, a manila folder or a paper bag, or maybe put some batting on it and sew around it. But I want to get this part done because with the Mod Podge, I want to give it a chance to dry. So a couple of disclaimers or maybe some details. So I'm using, this is a piece of vintage kitchen towel, if you will. It's just cotton, doesn't have stretch to it at all. It's just cotton. You can see it's frayed here, and it doesn't have a nap to it at all. It does have, I just noticed it does have a slight pattern to it, like a embossing and a crisscross fashion, but nothing too severe, and I think that's why it'll work okay. And then I do have it on some parchment just to kind of protect, because you know I'm going to slop everywhere. Then what I did was I took two different pages out of the kit. Each one had a journaling spot on the opposite side, and so I took them off so that I could have an owl on the front and an owl on the back, and I just cut it down midway so that I would be making a 9x6 journal, so that my 11.5 or my 11 by 8.5 sheets will fit in it. And then I on this fabric here, I cut it an inch longer, so 13 inches by 9.5, just so that I would have a little room to wrap and, you know, wrap it around. So I'm not going to put too big of a spine here because I'm not going to make a multi-signature. I'm just going to make it to where I can wrap it around, you know, and be a soft cover. So I'm just kind of eyeballing right now because I might even put just a slight pencil mark where I want these to kind of land, like that. All right, so then what I do, so then part of the disclaimer is I'm going to get this wet. And when I get it wet, there could be some running, some smearing. I'm going to do one side at a time because I think that might work best. So I'm about done in this Mod Podge, but I do want to try to use it up. So I'm just going to do this side, which would be the front. Probably a good idea to practice on the back side, but I didn't. Practiced a little bit with that little ephemera piece. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just putting a nice base for that to adhere to. Mod Podge is, to me, always fun to work with, I think, and it dries fairly quick. I'll probably need to show you the results in the next video on this series because I do want to move on to another cover if I can get this one done quickly. Actually, I have two more I'd like to do on this video. Once it is wet, you can see it does have a little bit of a give to it, the fabric. Just like, you know, any other fabric, when it gets wet, it softens up those fibers and it's a little bit more movable. Then when it dries, it cinches, kind of cinches back up. Okay, I hope everybody's having a really good day. Joey is home today. Kind of hurt his back a little bit. I think he just overdid it, really. And he's very sensitive to not drinking a lot of water. If he doesn't drink enough water, he'll have a severe backache. So he's on the mend today. And I hate that he doesn't feel good, but it's always fun to have him home. Just to know he's there. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I brought we have this piece of Tupperware here that's a little bit warped from putting in the dishwasher. So I just put some water in. It's very quick. I'm just going to dip it. Let it run a second, not too much, because I don't want that. I don't want the color to run if it is going to. I'm going to line that up with my two little dots as much as I can. Okay. It's kind of temperamental, like it is when you coffee dye, you know, when you get it wet. I like to go around the corners really, really good. Uh-oh. And kind of back them like that. Possible. Make sure you get it. So you can see here it has a little bit of a dye bleed to it. So you might just want to be mindful of that when you how that all blends or how that all bleeds. To me, I think it's kind of fun, you know, how it all bleeds, kind of like what we do with coffee dye. Because I've done this before with something else, and I noticed that it did bleed, but when it was all dry, I really didn't mind it. I thought it looked kind of neat. I'm just going over it, trying to thin it out just a little bit. It's nice to put a nice thick coat on there because it helps it to initially seal, you know, when you do that. But then I kind of like to go back and just take a little bit off. Okay. All right, now I'm going to shift this over to here. And put this, oh, no, don't put that guy in yet. Oopsie, got a little bit. No, I want to get this done first. Okay. I don't know what that is. A hole punch. Oh, that reminds me of maybe when I Mod Podged my junk to journal and I had all those hole punches that I put on the cover of that junk to journal. That was a really fun journal cover. If you want to see one that you don't really have to spend any money on, I made it out of newspaper, and basically what I did was I just took a bunch of newspaper and cut it to size and then sewed it around the edge, which, you know, kept it nice and together. I make it kind of a mess, aren't I? And then I use the Mod Podge and hole punch, you know, the little holes that you punch out when you do hole punches. I had saved some of that and used that for the cover. So I am gonna also sew these two down, these two sheets of paper down. And I think it's a good idea to do that. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can just do a, you know, a random running stitch, which would be super cool. Could do it in like a dark brown to make it look like it's kind of a leather, you know. I'm going all the way to the corner even though I don't have to, just for consistency, you know, for the fabric to look the same. Okay. Comes train. Okay. All right, now let's dip it. Quick dip. Quick, because that red does run a little bit. Okay, I can shore that up a little later on. I don't remember if I told you this or not, but the train goes right past the football stadium, and I don't think I've ever been to a game where the train didn't go by. And where they sound their horn, if they're coming one way, they sound their, ooh, that one did bleed a little bit. If they sound their horn coming one way, it's quite a bit, you know, down the way there, because it's before you get to the school. But coming the other way, they have to sound the horn going that way, because, you know, it's before they get to the intersection. And I'll tell you what, it's quite loud, and I think the players get a little bit of a jolt. I'm gonna just dip that into the, or get that off into the water, because it has a little bit of dye on it. It's funny, some of the dye runs differently than the other, so that blue and the red want to run, but I still think it's going to look pretty cool. And it has run onto the fabric, so that's going to give it a little tint. Okay. I don't know what that is right in the middle there. Some goo. All right. I don't like that. Okay, guys, I think what I'm going to do is quickly run this into the kitchen counter, because I don't have space in here. And then I'll be right back, and we'll do the next. I'll get rid of this water too, and we'll do the next thing. Okay. All right, good. All right, stand by. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. I have that put in the kitchen. I put that little water basin in the sink. Now I washed my hands, but now I've got little glue things on me. So I have another piece of parchment I'll put down. And then I just cut some brown paper bag. I mean, just that simple. I just cut some brown paper bag. to just adhere this and Mod Podge it on. I think though before I do, I'm gonna it's not gonna cut very good. Do I have a piece of scratch paper nearby? Sorry, bear with me just for a second. I don't know if this will help or not. I thought these would look a little bit better if they were. Oh, that is not going to work. That's a little bit of a stink, isn't it? Wonder if we did it like this. It would work better. Never had trouble with copy paper before. See, that worked fine. I don't know, but we'll get it, and then I think it'll look better. Keep that little scratch paper there. Now I need to get rid of these little guys so that they don't get in our glue. Oh boy, just dumped it right back on my desk. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there's just a brown paper bag. Would that show through? Nope. Okay, let's do it on this side. Now, the thing about it is that chances are it's going to run again. You know, this is also going to run, but not as bad because it doesn't have, it's not wet in addition to, you know, being Mod Podged, but it could run a little bit. So I think this is going to be the it for this bottle of Mod Podge. I think I've finished it off. I mean, it's scraping. Okay. Got that one empty. Oh, and there's a goo. Put that in my trash can. Okay, and then here's one. I don't know why I have so many open. But here's one that is open. I just took a little sandwich baggie, and I always have such a hard time getting them open, so I took a sandwich baggie and I put it down in there. So that's what that is. That helps me get it open. These arthritic hands. Okay, I was looking to tell I'm focused, very focused. It's almost dinner time. I have no idea what we're going to have for dinner. The day has gotten away from me. I made an Italian casserole last night for dinner. It was delish. Joey and I both wanted to go back for seconds, but we didn't. And so there's plenty. Maybe we'll have that tonight. And I had a big salad and some Italian bread with olive oil, so that was really good. So yeah, maybe we'll just do that again tonight. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't have any lettuce for a salad, but I think I have some cucumbers and tomatoes left, so maybe we could do that. Although I don't eat cucumbers much anymore. When I was a kid, it's funny how things start to bother you, you know. But when I was a kid, it was a mile walk to school, a mile walk home from school. And on the way to and fro, we passed a grocery store. And on the way home, I always stopped and bought a cucumber. And I would wash it off in the, drinking fountain. And then, I don't know what that is. String of some sort. And then I would just eat it all the way home, skin and all. I loved them. I loved them until about, I don't know, 3 years ago. And then they just decided they didn't like me anymore, and we just parted ways. We try to get together once in a while, but it's never any fun. But they're so beautiful, and I love the way they smell. Okay, I just need to come up a little bit more. Trying to center this a little bit if I can, if at all possible. There we go. Okay. Got me a wet wipe just in case. Forethought. Okay. Now I'm going to Mod Podge over it, and it's going to have a really nice thickness to it. Go around that edge really good because I pulled it back up again. So yeah, and I do love tomatoes, but I'm not supposed to eat them. They're too acidic for me. Brother, I'm a mess. I love vegetables, and it's really weird when there's vegetables you can't eat. Used to love green peppers, and I would make stuffed green peppers with, rice and ground beef. Do you guys ever do that? Oh man, I love it. Okay. Yeah, so just reminiscing about what I cannot eat. What I can eat. What can I eat? I eat spinach. What else? There are some lettuces I eat. No onions. Well, I can eat yellow onions if they're cooked. But that is it. This is something I used to love to eat. I used to love to eat cucumbers, red onions, and cherry tomatoes. Cut up and then put a little bit of ranch dressing on them. Oh boy. So good. But can't really eat any of them. Oh, I love avocados. Love them. And I can eat them, so I do, and I love them. And in the late spring, when our grocery store starts to carry them, I'm so excited because, they really can dress up an otherwise bland salad. I do like to put almonds on my salad. I like the smoked ones. We get at the grocery store, the smoked almonds. I'll put, a small handful, about 1/4 of a cup of them on there. And I can eat mozzarella cheese. And I can eat most white cheeses. I'm not supposed to eat like Parmesan and stuff like that, but I do. I love them. I love cheese. But, yeah, so I just try to find stuff that Joey and I can both eat. He doesn't do well with chicken, and I don't do well with red meat, but I feel like he does worse with chicken than I do with red meat, so we eat more red meat than we do chicken. But we both love pork. I think we talked about this one other time, but, pork isn't supposed to be good for anybody, I guess, but it's so good. That's the way it goes, isn't it? All right. Can you tell I'm getting hungry, trying to think of what to eat for dinner? It's just about getting time to make a big old fat chili. I can't eat beans. I do love beans. Only certain beans I can eat, but thankfully all of them you can put in a chili. I'm just kind of smashing that down because it kind of wanted to lift. I may have to go over some of this again. And this one I probably also end up sewing around as well. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pause you again, and I'm going to go put this in the kitchen, and then we'll do our last one. All right. One moment. Okay, I'm back and I got that safely delivered. So here's the other part of that brown paper bag. This was just like one of those big grocery bags that I cut down. So it'll be my journal cover like that. Fold it like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of collage. We got some tissue paper and I have some fall napkins that I took the whites off. All of these were 3-ply. I took it all off except for this. And so we'll just see how it goes. I'm just going to collage. Now, there are other people that do videos on, you know, doing collages and doing, you know, using napkins. And I'm not sure what their base is. I haven't gone to look. I know Gail does some, and she calls it, I want to say paper fabric, but I don't know what she uses for the base. You could use, so I'm using just this brown paper bag, but you could use like, you know, a big manila envelope, which we're going to use that for some other ones on the next video. What else could you use? You could use your cereal box. You could use a manila folder. You know, use what you have, if you know, and if you don't want to spend money, you don't have to, you know, use what you have. This brown paper bag I got the other day from shopping. Let's see. I was going to say one of these napkins, but there's a couple of napkins I got. I may have mentioned this to you before, but like when we go to events or what have you, if they have pretty napkins, I'll wipe my mouth on my sleeve and put the napkin in my purse, you know, so that I have it. I'm not opposed to that because, you know, it's fun to get pretty napkins. Okay, so I am just really randomly doing this. Put this down. Now these are a lot thinner, so they'll adhere a lot better than, you know, the paper. Give me a nice big piece here, a big section. I thought the brown paper bag would look kind of neat showing through if at all, you know. Let's see. And then we can always go around it. We can always go around it and trim it up because some of it will peek over a little bit. It's going to be very textured, which will be fun. I'm a little bit quiet. I'm thinking. When I went to put that last one out on the kitchen counter to dry, I saw Joey and asked him if he was good with leftovers tonight. He said yes, so that's a good thing. It's a go. It's a go for Italian casserole again. And you know how that is the next day. So good. See if I have one that's kind of big enough to go on this. Okay. Do this side. was looking at the calendar today. Joey's mom and her friend are going to be coming. They wanted to come for a weekend in October to thrift and flea market and stuff. And so I was looking at the calendar to kind of see when. And do you know that October is already full every weekend? Can you believe it already? And then, you know, it's holiday time. And you know what? You know it's going to be busy then because you're either prepping or you're visiting or having people over, entertaining, you know. Yeah, it's getting to be that busy time, isn't it? Oopsie, I got a little, need to put a little bit up there, I think. If I have a square edge, I kind of try to, you know, put it down towards a square edge or up towards a square edge away. I'm going to go see my mom tomorrow. Take her some of the Italian casserole. I always like to share with her what we make. Haven't been cooking as much as I had been. I need to get on it. Sometimes I forget to label it, and she'll say, "Oh, I had your dinner last night," and I'll say, "Which one?" And she'll say, "I don't know, it wasn't labeled, but it was good." Always cracks me up. I love Mexican food, so chances are it was a Mexican dish because I love it so much that I, you know, will make stuff quite often. Okay, I'm just looking for one that doesn't have a straight edge if I have one torn right now. Let's take this little one here and tear that off. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back around with it and slather it. Then we'll start on the napkins. For the most part, it's thin enough that if I didn't get it underneath, it'll seep through. Yeah. I'm excited for sweater weather. Is anybody else? Like, I like sweater weather and sweatshirt weather. I love it. Wear like a lightweight t-shirt, you know, underneath. And then if it it warms up or something, then you've got that. But cozy up with your sweater. Can't believe we're even talking about it already. I say that every year, but every year it's true. It goes by so fast. Oh, I mentioned in one of my previous videos about that movie. Oh my gosh, the astronaut movie, the $1 Million something. What was that? Oh my goodness, I already forgot. Do I have it laying here? Because I thought I wrote it down. Oh, Million Miles Away. Million Miles Away. The astronaut movie. Did anybody get a chance to see that? So good. And, you know, I love when they go, you know, kind of show the 70s and stuff, or, you know, reenact the 70s and all the styles and all that. I love that. Okay, so now I'm just collaging like, you know, we normally would do. So I'm going to, I don't really want, I don't think many square edges, unless I can figure out to use them around, you know, the edge. This one I think I'm just going to put right down the center, just kind of reinforce where that spine is going to be. Okay. Let's see. I think I'll put some right here. Maybe that's too big. Boy, I hope Joey can go to work tomorrow. Hope he has an easy day if he does. My hands are getting sticky. I keep forgetting to post pictures of the workshop that I did. The 2 workshops I did. I need to do that. Okay, now I think that's plenty of that for now. I don't know that I'm going to put any more of that on there, but I'll set it aside. And I'm just kind of fussy tearing stuff. I'm not really, haven't really gotten out my water pen. I don't know if I'll need to or not. Upside down? Yeah, that was upside down. There's words and the vine. This is really fun. This is really fun. And then what, you know, what's to mess up? Napkins and a piece of sack. So, ladies that were at my workshops, if you want to make another journal, these are really fun ways for you to make a journal cover. And then, you know, you just gather some papers and just do the same procedure that we did at our workshop. These colors are really, really fun. I think I mentioned to you, growing up until probably, oh, now I guess it's been about 10 years, my hair was bright red. So I wore a lot of like cinnamon colors, burnt orange, stuff like that seemed to, you know, go well. And my coloring, you can see freckles, you know. So I still love these colors, fall colors. My skin tone works best with fall colors. So I've always kind of been partial to them. I think that looks good right there. And the green, you know, the autumn greens, the deep olives, and kind of like my granddaughter likes the army green. I always liked army green too. Okay, I think I just need one little bit. And then we'll go on to the next napkin. Now once it's dry, it'll be really easy to trim. Turn it over and trim it nice and even. You could do this with, you know, like watered down Elmer's. A little bit watered down, not much. You don't want it too wet. But Elmer's is super thick. Okay, so now I have this one. And I'm just going to try to tear these leaves out here a little bit. And take that square edge off. I don't mind if it's a torn square edge, but I just don't want it to be. Don't want it to be too perfect. This Mod Podge is about done too, so I brought a new one just in case. Okay. And then maybe these pumpkins. I'm going to take that part off. These are so directional that unless I get it right out of the center of the napkin, it's going to pretty much be at the top, or it's going to pretty much be at the bottom, the pictures. That one's getting a little wet. So I put that tissue paper down, hoping that it would help, you know, in any gaps that I might have. And if it dries and I think it needs more, I'll just come in and I'll put a little bit more of something, you know. Oh boy, brother. Not what I wanted to do, but I think it'll work. Yeah, if I think it needs just a little bit more than maybe another layer or something, or maybe we'll stamp it or whatever. I'll put this little guy right here. I just don't want too much bare. Okay, what else? There's a bunch of these here. Maybe we could go down the side over here. Can you tell I'm focused? It's so quiet. Maybe a couple more over here. Then I think this one is going to be about done. I do want to put the birds on if I can find a good place. This is a really good, oopsie, pumpkin to put somewhere. Let's see if I can trim off the square edge. See, my hands are a little bit sticky. Just have to be careful tearing. So don't tear more than what I intend to. Maybe we can put a pumpkin right there. And I see a little gap here, which is okay, but I think I would like something there. And this has a pretty color to it. Let's see if it'll... some of it in there. Nice little sunflower. Okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I have this one. Try to get it in there. And I think I'm going to try to fussy tear that. I don't know. Can't really see if I can fussy tear it without getting the whole napkin in the glue. It repeats on all four, which is nice. You know, you have 4 different birds, or 4 different groupings of birds, I could say. But, you know, you could also, even if you didn't have that as the center, you could use something like this that we made. Go on the center there. And I don't think I want this brown border. around these birds. So I'm going to try to delicately tear that off. So far, so good. Okay. I'm just going to put it right in the middle and see what happens. I don't know. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. If it'll be too busy underneath it, or if you'll be able to see it. They're cute. I think they're sparrows. Okay, I think I'm going to go over it one more time, but I think she's done. Then I will put her in the kitchen in my journal cover drying section, aka the food bar. The bar in between the kitchen and the living room. Which gets, you know, a lot of action. I don't know about you guys, but I'll fold laundry there. We'll dump groceries there when we get home. Lots of paper has been dried there. Lots of coffee dyed paper has been dried there. Now this heavy coat should still dry very clear, hopefully not too milky, but hopefully nice and, you know, thick enough to where it's securing all of that tissue and napkin in. We'll cut it. I will probably sew around it. Kind of gives it a finished look, you know. Then I think our next ones that we'll do, maybe we'll do a few more, will be some fabric. Maybe we'll do a collage or something like that, something similar on an envelope front. Okay. I think that's going to do it. Yeah, we got that one done. Can't wait to see them dry. They always look so beautiful when they're dry. That Mod Podge just picks up so much detail. You know, after it's dry, everything just is so vibrant. I'm kind of excited to see that one that we Mod Podged onto the fabric, because let me wash my hands real quick. Because this one is drying quite nicely. I can tell, I don't know if you can tell or not, that the Mod Podge did kind of liquefy the color a little bit, but I love how it turned out. You can see in the back, that's super pretty. You see that? Yellows, orange, it's kind of, the colors have kind of bled through, and it's nearly dry, and it's very, very flexible. Very flexible. And I've done this process with napkins. So like if you wanted to make a fabric flip with these birds, let's say, you would just do the same thing. You would get your fabric, preferably no nap on the fabric. And if you're not familiar with that term, that just means that it's not bumpy at all. It's not like a towel that has the nap, the little things that pop up, the threads, what have you. yeah, so you could just do that. I've used tarp and have done that before. So all right. Well, listen, everybody, thanks a lot for joining in. And I'm going to go get Joey something to eat. And we pray blessings over you. And never forget that you're so loved. All right. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.